welcome to OMG. My name is David Paul and I am going to help you make more sales today. This is a very exciting presentation. It'll take about 40 minutes, so you probably do want a pen and some paper so that you can make some notes, unless you've gone digital and you'll crack out your iPad or whatever it is. What we're going to do today is we're going to get you back on track. I know that you've got a dream. I know that you've bought into digital marketing courses, and I know that they have not been working for you as well as you'd hoped and expected to. It's led to you feeling, well, overloaded, overwhelmed. If you don't feel there's enough hours in the day, there are loads of courses out there. Which ones do you choose from? You can't stand out. Nobody seems to follow you, or you get tire kickers. Everybody who just follows you just seems to want to sell you a course. You keep on seeing the same old advice, and it's just repeated, and it's not working for you. You're damn sure that a few people out there have just got really lucky, and you're also pretty certain that some people might have cheated the system, and I will happily agree with you on all of those. It's led you to having a bit of lack of confidence, a clarity, a lack of control, and you're unsure of your next move. Well, if you stick with me throughout this presentation, I want to give you your next move. And if it's okay with you, the last few minutes at the end, I'd like to tell you a little bit about OMG. But before then, I want to get you into learning mode. Now, don't expect anything boring. What we are going to do is we're going to look at the old advice, why it hasn't worked, and how to finally build a real digital business. So, 3 big things that we are going to learn today. Why the advice about you've got to be consistent has kept you feeling stuck and overwhelmed. That's really important. I'm going to show you how to build a real digital business without spinning your wheels or burning out. And also, I want to show you why your old courses have not yet wasted. They're not. And how you can possibly leverage them so you can get some results out of them. So please just stick with me, and I'm going to take you through to a bit of a smarter path. So just a bit of a snapshot of my history. My professional marketing career started in 1998. I got into digital marketing in 2007. I created an ebook called Marketing for Driving Schools, and that led me into creating a call center, a media center, workshops, international retreats, my own conferences where people pay to come and see me, and I've been paid to speak around the world. And moreover, more recently, I've been working with people like yourself that sell digital marketing courses, and I've noticed that you're getting burnt out. I don't know why. It's because you've been told to post more and be more consistent, and you just get burnt out. And actually, marketing doesn't have to be a burnt out sort of scenario. You shouldn't be overwhelmed with marketing. It's a nice subject. It's based on human principles, and it really ought to be simple and straightforward. So for me, all of you deserve a business that really suits your life. And that even means if you've got 4 kids, 3 dogs, a cat, and a budgie, and a full-time job. I know that you've been feeling burnt out, and I know that you've been feeling left frustrated, but I want to stop that for you today. So what you're going to learn is why the traditional digital marketing journey is holding you back, why all of your past efforts have not been in vain. I absolutely promise you they haven't been in vain. We'll get you to use them properly, and also how to build a sustainable business that actually fits you, right? So I like no stress. I'm not very good with stress. I don't manage stress too well. So if you're like me and you don't like stress, you want to move away from it. So the old advice hasn't worked, right? But your old courses aren't wasted. So I know you've bought courses like UBC, SMGB, DWA, SWC, and you might see it working for a few other people, but it hasn't worked for you. I'll tell you right now, if you just take a scroll tonight on TikTok or TikTok? What's TikTok? On TikTok or Instagram, the vast majority of people have not made sales, and I'm really talking like 95%. And there's mentors out there, and it just hasn't worked for you for whatever reason. It's not that these courses, right, were specifically wrong. There's actually some good information in these courses. There really is. But what you don't have is you don't have the right strategy for you to tie it all together. Nobody's connecting the dots. Now, what I don't want to do is I don't want to waste your time. and I don't want you to have to start all over from the beginning. Now, I'm not just this other mentor coach. I'm not a marketing celeb, polished influencer, or anything like that. I've had my doubts and I've had my anxieties, that is for sure. I've wasted time on ineffective strategies. I've thrown money away. I've actually invested in some really good stuff as well. I've spent well over 100,000 in my personal development. And so I've had some good stuff, but I've had some really, really crap stuff as well. So I understand in terms of what you need to make things different. And so you need it real, you need it honest. It's got to be committed to you, right? It can't be about the course creator. It can't be how wonderful the content is. It's got to be about you. That's a huge difference. So when I say reachable, it means doable, right? Within reach, not like 6 years ahead, but like a few steps away. And it's got to be transparent. I don't want you to going from another course to another course. I don't want you doing that. You don't need to do that. So for me, one day it just clicked together. I was overwhelmed and I've just seen information everywhere on all the different social media platforms, and everybody was telling me it was step by step, and everybody was proud to tell me that their course was step by step. And I realised this step by step stuff is a bunch of nonsense, isn't it, really? They're just teaching people how to become parrots. And no wonder I was getting stuck, right? Because I couldn't answer the questions. I couldn't go on to the next bit. I didn't know what my next move was. Why? Because I was being built as a parrot, right? And that's when it kind of like all started to drop together. Thinking, success isn't about doing more. These massive, massive names out there in these huge worlds like Tony Robbins and Richard Branson and what have you not, they're not trying to cram more into their day. What they're trying to do is do the right things in the right order. Do the right things in the right order. I repeat it. Do the right things in the right order. So what I did is I just sat down and I realised where I was right now. I was guessing. I was uncertain. I was struggling. I thought, what's the opposite to that? Where do I need to go? Well, I need to go from guessing to knowing, struggling to steady, and uncertain to confident. Like, right, okay. Then I started to connect the dots. And this is when I started from flipping courses. When I say flipping courses, I don't mean flipping egg. I mean flipping them where you take a course and sell it for cash. That's when I started to realise I was like a cat chasing my own tail. It's not really what I want to do. Is actually creating a recipe for burnout. And all of you are. You're all creating a recipe for burnout. What I needed, my turning point was very simple. It was from overload to being in control, right? So if you feel frustrated and stuck and just sick of people telling you to post more, blah, 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 don't get me wrong, I've been there as well, I've seen it, right? Too much advice, too much samey, and they all come out with these sound bites and these cliches, don't they? But there's no substance behind it. So what changed for me was I stopped chasing the endless stream of advice, got rid of all of that. I learned how to create a business without hustling myself or anybody else. And I realized that success was really not about being everywhere and doing everything. It was just about being in the right, doing the right things consistently, right? Doing the right things in order. People talk about consistency and they don't know what they're talking about, right? And, you've got to be consistent. You've got to be consistent. Oh God, if I had a penny every time someone said that. But when I made this shift into doing the right things in order, I stopped feeling as if I was run ragged. All of a sudden I felt not just in control, but I was energized, right? So I stopped the cycle of overwhelm, and that is the smarter path. That's what you've got to do, right? You've got to stop jumping from one course to the next. And you know what? You see these gurus out there, and they'll be selling one course at the moment, and then 3 months later they'll be selling to the same people they sold to before the next course, and then the next course, and that's what they're doing. They're burning themselves out, and they're burning other people out. There's too much information. Too many promises that don't come true. My God, how many times do we see these over promises and nothing delivers? But there is a better way, right? Where you can get the results without the burnout. And we've got to think like this. And you've got your pen handy, haven't you, right? Or take a screenshot. Clarity over chaos. Focused action over spinning your wheels. And sustainable progress over quick fixes. This is your foundation, right, to your strategy. This is what we need to look at. And it's a really good assessment, really. Look at your business. Do you have chaos? Are you spinning your wheels? Have you been looking for quick fixes? Buy the next course, jump onto this mentor. The opposite to that works, right? Clarity, focused action, sustainable progress. Okay? So this is what we're trying to do. No more guesswork. So I don't want you, though, to feel that everything that you've learned so far in this world of digital marketing has been a waste. It hasn't. What we've been doing right now is we've just been looking at some core truths that drive sales, and we've also been looking at why the typical advice out there hasn't worked for you, right? So what we're looking at is that your old courses, they're not wasted. Maybe you can finally pay them off, but without the overwhelm, without the endless content creation. So what you've learned is this. The usual be consistent advice isn't the full picture. It's not. You've got to avoid getting stuck in the content hamster wheel, because everybody does. Even if you're not making the videos, you're thinking about it. And why you don't need to be an expert to make real progress. What we've got to do is move forward. We need to connect those dots. Now, I'm going to pause for a second. There is one belief that changes everything, and this is crucial. I've actually got some really cool secrets I'm going to share with you, but this is fundamental for you being a success. If you believe that sales only comes from going viral, you're going to stay stuck, because you'll keep on doing that. Now, I'll tell you, do you know who you're competing against? It's not just other digital marketers. It's every single body on TikTok or Insta, wherever you're at. Every single person, every single company, every single niche, every single type of thing that you buy, from local restaurants and local services to international pop stars to the latest fashions and you name it, and everything in between. If you think that you can compete against that, good luck, right? That's the one belief that makes everything fall into place. What you need to realize is this: sales come from connections. That's the one belief that makes everything fall into place. I'll repeat it. Real sales come from connections, not your content, or not just your content. When you realize that, everything changes. You don't have to be everywhere and go viral. You don't have to be a polished expert. You don't have to start over. Just stick with me on this presentation and I'll take you through it. So the first secret I'm going to reveal to you today is it's not about posting more. It's about building a real business, right? Everybody thinks they've got to go and post, be viral. The truth? Far from it. Far from it. You want to build a business, not an audience. An audience, what does an audience do at the end of the show? They leave the show and they go home. They'll go and watch somebody else, right? Followers do not buy stuff from you, right? You can get 1 million followers anywhere, right? They don't buy stuff from you. We need to attract buyers. It's not about shouting up and down and being the loudest or the freakiest or anything like that. It's about being relevant, right? It's about being relevant to the right people, being valuable to the right people. When you're valuable to the right person, it means because you're giving them a little bit of control. Okay? So this is different. It's not about an audience. It's not about followers. It's not about being loud. It's about building a business. It's about attracting buyers. It's about being relevant. You've got to ask yourself, are you ready to build something real right now? You've got to stop being a content machine, right? You're not a content feed. You need to build a space for people where they can come together, where they can stay and talk and meet, right? Not just for your content tips. Nobody wants tips. People want transformation, right? Nobody wants, what a great tip. Yeah, great, right. Where's the transformation in that? They're not looking for content. They want to build relationships with people. They want to connect with you, right? They don't just want to be a follower. They want to be in your group. They want to be a part of you. They want to be a part of your tribe. They want to see you move forward. And then you see them move forward. And they buy from you. And you don't need to be this expert, right? You don't need to be that. What you need to be is a few steps ahead. I'm not polished. I'm just real, right? People want connection. So I tell people about my journey. I walk around where I live, up and down by the river, in town. Tell people when I've had a bit of a bad day sometimes. Sometimes I say a little bit too much. You don't need to be the expert. Show people your journey. Show people where you're going, right? Be the guide. Focus on connection. Show your work in progress. You don't have to say, hey, guess what, how much money I've made today, or how much money I've made this week, all right? You don't have to do anything like that. Just share your little wins. Share your mistakes as well if you want to. People buy from people who they can relate to. And by the way, that's why faceless is so bloody hard to do. Faceless is incredibly difficult because people struggle to relate to it, right? Let's slide into secret 3. Yeah, these people with the big standstill claims and how much money they've made. Got news for you. Don't need to compete with those people anymore. You don't. You do not need to compete with them. If they're showing that they've made £200,000 and you've only made £2,000, you're not going to get the sales. They're going to go to them, right? You need to be real and not loud. You need a loyal audience, not a huge audience. You need trust over hype. Do you know what hype gets you? People that can't afford to pay. You get hype gets you people that will pay tomorrow because they don't have the money right now. That's fine. Hype gets you desperate people. Hype gets you people who actually buy from you, never actually complete the bleeding course and start to give you a bad name. That's what hype does, right? A huge audience, I'll tell you what a huge audience gets you. Lost, right? You don't need massive followers, right? A massive amount of followers. You just need the right people. You don't need to shout up and down and bang our chest. Just be real, right? And this is how we can compete with the big names. You don't have to be the flashiest. Real connections. Focus on connection. Focus on a loyal group. Be the guide, right? Show people what you're doing and where you're going. And this is how we can compete against them. Now, everything I've shared with you right now is all about core truths, right? It's about why the old advice hasn't worked, right? It's about why being consistent, as they say, doesn't work, right? Well, you've got to keep posting 3 or 4 times a day. It doesn't work. And how you've always got to be live all the time, right? And all that other stuff. And of course they tell you, oh, you've got to have a mentor and you've got to go back into your, you've got to go back into the course. You've got to do the course. You've got to do the course. Who's got the time to do these courses, right? What we need to do right now is understand what the old advice was. And you know it all. You know all the old advice. You know, and they tell you need the hooks and the descriptions and all that. Yeah, you know what? To a certain degree, they count. They do. But we need to bridge the gap. We've got to connect the dots. Posting more isn't the answer. You don't need to be the expert, and you don't need these financial claims to compete with the big names. In fact, they'll swallow you up. They'll absolutely swallow you up. Now, what you might see from now on the left-hand side, you might see a little testimonial. So you want to pause if you want to read. You're welcome to. So let's move on, right? I've invested over £100,000 in my personal development. Actually, quite a bit more than that, but don't quite have the figure. let's not dwell on that, right? And the way that I've done it from one of 2 ways. I've either taken the money from my existing business, e.g. I've got a business and I'm making money and therefore I can move forward, right? But my business hasn't in the past always had money. And you've probably seen this. Oh, I can't move forward. And I've got a course, but I can't afford to, this course isn't working for me. I can't sell it. So we'll call it course A. I've got course A. It's not working for me. I can't sell it. So they go, all right, I really want course B. I'll go and get course B once I've sold a course A. Doesn't make sense, right? So when you're in that situation, this is what I've done before, is I have invested from my disposable income. So to give you an example, last night I went down to the local bar. My disposable income included 2 pints of lager, a chicken and chips. Then Emily phoned me up to say, hey David, we're having an Uber tonight. We're having some pizza, because Emily wasn't with me. Emily's my wife. And so then I had to pay for another 2 pizzas on top of that. That was my disposable income last night. So when I invest in skills, if my business is not making money, I take it from my disposable income, right? And what I want you to think about is this. I don't want you going into a quick win. You don't want a quick win. Quick wins get you nowhere. You know that. This is about creating long-term freedom. That's what it's about. You want to go and do quick wins, go and do quick wins. But it'll keep you in the cycle of where you're at with the same people, chuntering on with the same endless quote unquote support, where you just feel more depressed, more down, more lost, further away from your dreams. This is not about quick wins. This is about getting it right. This is about building a proper foundation, a real business, and a real investment into your future. So if you are stuck and overwhelmed and guessing your way through, look, I promise you, you're not alone. You're really not alone. I speak to people like you every single day. You've got like this before and after, right? So just assume that you've moved through the chapters and you're doing what I do right now. The old you used to post constantly, used to guess, chase trends, buy new courses. We want that to be the old version of you. The new version of you is building a business that makes sales and grows without burnout. We want the old version of you, the stuff that you've been doing, is where you've been trying to be everywhere, trying to go viral and all that sort of stuff. We want that to be the old you. The new you is attracting buyers who trust you and stick around and actually bring you referrals. Oh, you really want to go try working with David? He's really good. He helped me out. Blah 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 blah. He helped you as well. That's what you want. That's where you need to be. Now, I just want you to imagine where you are in 6 months from now, where there is no guesswork, where you get up in the morning and you know what you need to do, where you've got repeatable results, where you've got a community that sticks around, supports you, and actually invites other people into your community, where you know what to say. You don't have to second guess yourself, right? That is where you can be in just a few months' time. That's what you need to build to. When you start to build to that and stop trying to turn courses into cash, you'll still sell courses and you'll do it really, really well. But the focus needs to be elsewhere so people can buy those courses. Now, I asked you earlier if it's okay to share with you a little bit about OMG Entrepreneurship, which is my course. I've got a couple, but this is the one I'd like to talk about a little bit more often, because we use the words like game changer quite frequently, but I've got some stuff in here that is just going to show you the difference between the old you, where you were running around trying to post, trying to go viral, I call it juggling plates and spinning balls. You get the idea. So I'm just going to share with you what's in the entrepreneurship course, if that's okay with you. And you'll see a few testimonials along the way. You're going to build a community. That's what you're going to do. A community trusts you. A community has a vision and has a purpose. You are going to meet people online when they actually say, hey, David, I'm interested in this. Can I have a quick chat with you about it? That is what you want. That is what you are going to get. This community. And it grows your sales. They're the ones that go out there and talk about you, right? When you have this community, you can do loads of things. First of all, you've got a space that you own. Now, you can sell other people's courses if you wanted to. That's perfectly fine. Or you can create your own. I've created both of my courses, OMG VIP and OMG Entrepreneurship, out of my community. And guess what? I sold my courses even before they went on sale. How cool is that? I sold my courses even before they went on sale. Outstanding, right? So in here, I want to share with you how really you can become visible to the right people and build confidence. I want you to know how to write the words that people respond to, so you can get the right bios and the captions. I want you to know how to tell the right story so you can build trust. And you want people to take you seriously, right? This is what it's about. And it's all underpinned with clarity and growth. A clarity and growth strategy. Not a selling a course to anybody that might come along strategy, because you just burn yourself out. You sell the course, and guess what you need to do next? Go and find another customer. You sell the course, and guess what you need to go and do next? Go and find another customer. That is not going to work for you. You need to define your dream customer. I'll help you with that. You need to build the yellow brick road, and that's what we call the client journey. We can measure things, and we can automate your sales without overwhelming. These are the elements of OMG Entrepreneurship that is the real defining moment in your business so you can move forward. I'll help you with the niche. I'll help you with the avatar. I'll help you create the content. I'll help you structure it together. I'll help you create conversations. Right? Conversations where you can chat to people nice and naturally. The total core value is £1,600, or 1,662. But I want to give you some bonuses on top. You might have seen OMG VIP, and OMG VIP is exceptional. It really has been the difference for so many people. Okay? Really, really different. Inside 3 to 4 hours, you understand how marketing works. And I want to give you the OMG bot on top as well. Right? The OMG bot is magnificent. It's interesting because all these big courses now are now following what I do. Because they went out there and made these bots and they sold them. And I went, no, I don't want to sell mine. I want you to have it as a gift, as part of what I do. Because you won't get stuck. Not only will it do work for you, you can ask it any question you want. And I'll tell you right now, this is trained specifically for digital marketing. Specifically for people like you. It's not course specific. It is niche specific for you. And it's fantastic. The total value I'm actually giving you is £3,102. And you get it just for less than 10%. At £237. I want people to get it. I want people to change their lives. Can you resell it? Of course you can resell it. There's not a problem with that. I like you to resell it. I want you to go through it. I want you to understand it. I want you to change. This is going to change things for you. And I want you to have that integrity of when you go out there and start talking about OMG Entrepreneurship. And unlike any other course out there, OMG Entrepreneurship and OMG VIP, we're the first to offer a money-back guarantee. If you really want to think about why I have a money-back guarantee, it's this. Because it works. It's as simple as that. It works. This is the difference. This is the difference between the old version of you and the new version of you. You want to wait for a perfect time? Well, let's get outside. Make sure that we've got a nice southwesterly breeze. 28 degrees centigrade or something like that. The sun's shining, cocktail in your hand, barbecue's going. That's the perfect time. You'll be waiting forever, right? Thing is this, right? If you're tired of being stuck and you want to make these dreams come true and you don't want to let another day slip by, this is what you need to get into. And there's no risk. There's no risk. I carry all the risk. Money back guarantee. So, if you're fed up of wasting time on courses and you feel stuck and overwhelmed and you want this to be the last course you ever need, you want to go from struggling to confident, overwhelmed to in control, frustrated to profitable, this is where you need to be at. Come and get it. Come and have some fun with us. Come and bring a spring into your life, because that's what you need. You don't want to be held down. You don't want to be set back. You want to be able to move forward with clarity and with confidence. This is different. Not asking you to be an expert. What I am saying is this. Get into it. You'll enjoy it. Understand it. You'll be able to speak to other people about it. You'll be able to sell any other course that you wanted to, any of the old ones, any of the new ones if you want to get them. You can resell this. You don't need to be pushy. I don't want you to be pushy. I want you to create buyers. That is the aim, to create buyers. So, are you with me? I hope so. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm always around for a quick chat. Take care.